Is that familiar smile. Jose Mourinho, the new Tottenham head coach.
This one, that's it.
Do you feel like you've got your mojo back?
I have to go to Google Translator to understand what mojo is. I'm relaxed, I'm motivated, I'm ready.
Son crashes it through the keeper and has Tottenham and Jose jumping again. Maguire! Instant Tottenham star! He's loving it. Can we play you every week?
It just gets better and better for Son Heung-min.
Man of the match, Harry Kane.
Yeah. Gareth Bale! Look what it means to him! Kane! And Spurs are flying! Aurier! 5 Spurs! 5 at Old Trafford! It is a scoreline which will resonate throughout the world. Manchester United 1, Tottenham Hotspur 6.
Tottenham has been too long not winning trophies. They need to start winning, and Jose is showing them the way.
However hard you try to appear humble, well, you've got a smile now. Sifted through here for Son, who's finishes short, and Tottenham are ahead inside 5 minutes. This is Giovanni Lo Celso, immediate, extraordinary. Genius, Jose, genius.
Jose Mourinho's Tottenham are top of the league. Who'd have thought it?
He's done a brilliant job since he's been in there. You know, overall, you'd have to say he got a little bounce when he first went in there. Then he got the injuries to Son and Kane, and it really affected them. And they had a poor end. Then we had the stop, didn't we, for the COVID. And they benefited from that. They managed to get them 2 world-class players back to fitness. At the end of the season, they put a good run together and got themselves in Europa League. Was that a success? Daniel Levy would have said no. He would have said no, we wanted Champions League. But so did a lot of other teams in the Premier League. This season, he's had them 2 guys fit. He's found a way, Alderweireld and Dyer. He's realised that they can defend the penalty area very well. They're not very good on the halfway line. So what he's done is he's brought the whole team back. So they're very energetic. Højbjerg has been a good signing as a number 6. He's sitting in front of the 2 centre-backs. He's brought Reggie on in. He's been outstanding at left-back. And they're very energetic and very strong in the midfield areas, but they don't really go anywhere. And he leaves it up to the likes of Son and Kane to win him the football match. And obviously we brought in Harry Kane now. Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale gets anywhere near the fitness, what we think he could be, maybe 75% of that, then they've got another top player who can catch teams on the counter-attack. That is what he wants to play. That is the way he's always played. He was up against it when he first came in because the fans were in the stadium and they don't want to suffer that at Tottenham. They want to play free-flowing, open football like they've had over 5 years with Pochettino. And the players also want to play that way. Now, when you've got a manager like Pochettino who trusts the players to play on the front foot and take everyone on, in the dressing room, right here tell you, as well as me, you feel like the manager trusts you. You know, and we can go and take it on. And if you feel good about yourself. Now, when a manager comes in and says, no, we can't actually do that. This is our game plan. We're going to sit in and we're going to try and counter-attack. Normally, you think it'll be in the dressing room. You say, why doesn't he trust us? You know, this is not good. I want to feel like we're as good as Liverpool or as good as Man City. But Jose's got it right. Perhaps his team can't. And they're buying into it. And the likes of Harry Kane, they beat Man City the other day. He never touched the ball in Man City's penalty area once. Not one touch in the penalty area. But after the game, he's talking about mid-blocks and the way their game plan was this. He's brainwashed him, Jose. He successfully brainwashed his team into knowing how to win. I think that's where they're going to struggle. But if they keep Kane and keep Son fit, they've got every chance to win some trophies this season.
I think the Tottenham players will be delighted with what's going on now because what they've done under Marcelo Pochettino was fantastic. But this is showing another way. This is Mourinho's way. This is how he does it. And when you look at the way they're playing, you look at, like you mentioned, Reguilon. I think he's an upgrade on Davis. When you mention, I think that Matt Doherty's an upgrade on Aurier. I think he's brought in 2 good players there to help with the forward play. I think, obviously, Højbjerg. When you look at Højbjerg's numbers, not only is the fact that he can break things up, but his passing and possession, his tackles. the amount of fouls he commits. He's somebody that's doing that job that Mourinho wants. And I think that with Ndombele, and like Tim said, and I totally agree to a certain extent, that when you're playing against teams that, like a Man City or an Arsenal or probably even a Chelsea, who will try and come at you, why not do what Tottenham are doing? It's very effective if you don't pick up Harry Kane and you've got runners behind him. Then you've got Ndombele, who, for me, against City, yes, City would left spaces, and they totally exposed them with the quality. The ball what Ndombele put in, Harry Kane's great movement in front, Son going beyond. I think that works for them. I'd be interested to see the Tottenham fans in there now, because that works. That works the way they're playing, and it looked pretty good the other day against City.
We will come back to that point about the Tottenham fans and the difference that might be there if it was in the ground. But just because we've just seen that comparison with the first few games or first 19 games of Jose Mourinho's time, the last 15 of Mauricio Pochettino's time, I've seen a point made a couple of places, which I think is a valid one, which is that there was so much emotion in Pochettino leaving. He was so loved at the club and so loved by the supporters that actually quite a few of us missed that Jose Mourinho might be the right appointment to come in and bring that level of steel into Tottenham, because he just didn't have that. Well, we've been talking about it, haven't we, from the beginning of the show? They didn't have that connection with him.
No. When Mourinho arrived, one of the first things I remember writing in a match report was that he was trying to turn choir boys into street fighters, because when he arrived, they were too nice. And anyone who's seen the Amazon documentary, I can't obviously repeat what he said in there, but clearly it paid off, because against Manchester City, they got the job done. Don't worry, I won't. Nobody's going to say.
All right, no, I trust you.
But I think there's a couple of quite important things. Pochettino might look at what's happened with Spurs this season and think, if I had that investment, I might have been able to do with that side and that squad what Mourinho is doing now, because for the last 2 years of his time at the club, he'd been begging for money to buy new players. Reguilon's coming at left back, and as you say, is an upgrade. Højbjerg has defied the people who said that he was quite an underwhelming signing to prove pivotal to what they are doing at the moment. Yeah. People underestimate the job that Mourinho's done with Ndombele, who wanted to leave last year. Didn't want to work with him, and he's managed to turn him around. And as you say, Doherty is an upgrade at right back, and it's that back line that was so bad in the first couple of seasons at Spurs under Pochettino. They had the best defence in the Premier League and the joint best defence with Manchester United, and then they lost their way completely. Now they're back to being solid again, and I think all of this without Bale being anywhere near, as you say, where he could be, and it's for that reason I think they will compete for the title, because in the second half of the season we'll see Bale where he wants to be. He's had no pre-season whatsoever, and in the second half of the season they will find a way to configure him into the side that enables them to be able to break teams down. I don't have any doubts about that, actually. I have less doubt about them breaking teams down now. I think against Burnley they beat them by a single goal. West Brom was a big one. 88th minute of that game, and they broke them down as well. I don't have those concerns. And also, we haven't even seen the best of, for example, Carlos Vinicius, who is back up to Harry Kane. You know, that's the kind of depth that Pochettino would have liked, which is why, to a certain extent, I think it's unfair to kind of judge Pochettino too harshly, because if he had had that investment that Mourinho got, and I would imagine he wouldn't have come if he hadn't had that promise of the investment, I think Pochettino might still be at the club.
See, I disagree. I think Pochettino would have had the investment if he said that I want the investment. I think Pochettino would have been given the investment, but what Pochettino wanted to do, he stuck to the plan. The plan when he took over from me was to carry on, bringing the kids through, develop, keep hold of the kids. As soon as Jose's gone in there, Troy Parrott's not good enough, Walker Peters not good enough, Oliver Skipp's not good enough.
What do you make of that?
Not only got good enough, he gets rid of them, gets them away from the football club. But so all of a sudden now he's got a shadow of the squad, and what he says to Daniel Levy is the biggest art in any management is to get the owner to spend money. And he just says, when he first went in there, Jose Mourinho, they asked him, do you need any players? He said, no, I'm happy with the squad. What a wonderful squad from the outside. He goes in there after signing the ink's dry, he goes into Daniel Levy, these are not good enough. We need this one, that one, go and get me them. And Daniel's backed him, and he's went out and done that. I think Pochettino stuck to the script. I think there's a different philosophy of that football club. They don't bring Jose Mourinho in there to finish in the top four. and get a pat on the back. Jose don't want that. Jose's won 20 major trophies in his career. What Jose wants is go in there and win something. And I think all of a sudden, Daniel Levy and the board of directors there at Tottenham think, yeah, you know what? Let's go and win. Let's bring Jose in. He's available. We haven't got to pay anything for him. He's a proven winner. He knows the Premier League. He can ruffle him, make him stronger, make him tougher to beat. And that's what he's done. Yeah. And I think he's benefited from not having fans in the stadium. Because if he has fans, put extra pressure on playing the way he's playing. Now, if I'm Jose Mourinho, I'm not changing the way I play either. I've got a blueprint of winning 20 major trophies. Not by opening the pitch up and entertaining everyone, by being horrible.
Are you saying that Tottenham fans right now, Tim, would be unhappy with what they're doing?
Absolutely.
No, I don't think they would.
No.
Do you mean they would?
No, let me tell you, they have to win a trophy. At the end of the season, they win nothing. Tottenham fans will be saying, that's a load of crap. That's not good enough. We don't need that. That is not what we're looking for. If they win a trophy, they will say, brilliant. Jose's the Messiah, and I believe they will win a trophy. I believe they've got the squad to win a trophy, but they have to keep one man fit.
See,
they've not been able to keep Harry Kane fit for the last 3 or 4 seasons.
I don't think it's dependent on keeping Harry Kane fit anymore. I think they can win without him. They've proved they
well,
can
no, they can't. They haven't proved it with him because
they can win matches without him.
They can't win matches without him.
Let's take a look at the difference between with Kane and Son and without Kane and Son. And it's different. This is without Kane. What was the so? You think they can or they can't win without him?
I think they really struggle without him. I think when they don't play well against West Brom, when they don't play well against Burnley, then they don't play well against Brighton. Everton, they were poor and they lost that game. I think he scores goals.
But do you think it's for different reasons from why they would have missed him before? Because, you know, we talked about his post-match interview against Manchester City, and he wasn't, you know, not having a touch inside the Spurs box. So are they missing him for different reasons than they would have done previously?
No, I think before, when they were under Pochettino, they had different ways to score goals. They've scored 21 goals this season, and 16 of them have come from Son and Kane. I think if you take that away, you can say that about a lot of teams in the leagues if their main man's injured. Aguero at Man City, they've really struggled to win without him. But I think if you take Harry Kane out of that now, I think they will struggle. But we're talking about that. Are we in agreement that they can win the league?
No,
yeah,
I think I agree they can win the league.
So it's a massive upgrade.
But the reason I disagree on Harry Kane is that Harry Kane captioned it up there. He's dropped deeper, and the man that is key at the moment is Son, because Son is able to find his way in behind defences. If Kane's not available and Bale can play in the kind of role that Kane can do that. He can do that, and that's the reason why I think I agree about his key to the side. But I also agree that you've got other players that can drift into that role and supply the likes of Son, and if they can get Vinicius fit and scoring goals, Vinicius as well, and they've got that backup. But the only other thing I was going to say is this. I agree with your point about the change in mentality. We all know what Mourinho can do. But in the last 2 years of covering the club, I remember they beat Leicester at the end of this season. They smashed them up, I think it was 5 or 6-0. And the entire press conference at Wembley, us journalists were sitting there, and we thought it was all going to be about being happy that they'd beaten them and finishing the top 4. And Pochettino was again having a go at the club and saying, I need money. I can't keep being expected to pull rabbits out of the hat. So I think he did call for that investment. And I think at some level he actually upset Daniel Levy as well, because he kept doing it so very publicly. The day that they opened the new stadium, Daniel Levy expected it all to be about how wonderful this new arena was, and it made them big players. And Pochettino did a separate daily huddle with us guys, and he was saying, I need better players. No point us being there unless we've got better players. So he called for it time and again. I think you could argue that Mourinho was able to leverage coming in on the back of it, and I would agree with you on that, because he's managed to get what Pochettino simply did not have. But I certainly think that Pochettino would look at now at what he has and think, if I had that, I could have done the same thing.